Caroline Kepnes is a young writer born in Barnstable, Massachusetts, on 10 November 1976. She is defined as a contemporary writer, screenwriter, and journalist. She achieved huge success with her first novel, You, which was later adapted into the television series of the same name, currently available on Netflix. Caroline graduated from Brown University with a degree in American Civilization, and after her studies, she published several short stories and worked as a pop culture journalist. As a filmmaker, she has won numerous awards and has also been the writer of several television shows, including the adaptation of You. In 2014, the writer published her first mystery novel, You, which was written during a dark period in her life, in a year when she faced several personal challenges. In 2016, Kepnes published a sequel of You, Hidden Bodies, and from 2019, she is working on the third and fourth novels in the series. You is a psychological thriller genre book, full of suspense and very exciting, so much that having achieved great success, it has been translated into 19 languages. The protagonists of this novel are Joe Goldberg, played by Pam Badgley, and Guinevere Beck, played by Elizabeth Lale. Joe is a young bookstore manager in New York's East Village who loves his job, while Beck is a beautiful aspiring writer who is pursuing a doctorate in creative writing and is also a yoga teacher. One day Beck enters in Joe's bookshop, and between the two, after several exchanges of glances, there is an immediate love at first sight, a mutual attraction. But Beck doesn't yet know that the person in front of her is actually a dangerous one, suffering from a mental disorder due to his childhood. Joe was orphaned as a child and adopted by the owner of the bookshop, who always locked him up in an underground room. Joe manages to steal Beck's phone and so begins his investigation to find out everything about the girl's personality and life. He even spies on her on social networks, finds out where she lives, and follows her when she leaves the house. One night Beck falls down drunk on the tracks of an underground, and Joe, who was following her, saves her life. After this episode, they decide to get engaged, but Beck becomes a real obsession for Joe. He is so obsessed with her that he wants her all to himself, and he will kill everyone close to the girl, including her best friend and her ex-boyfriend. Beck is unaware of Joe's true identity until one day Joe discovers her secret relationship with her therapist. At that point, Joe goes into whole fury and there is no happy ending. The book ends with the young man trapping Beck in an underground room in his house and killing her. Between the book and the TV series, there are some differences. The first one concerns Paco, the neighbor with whom Joe approaches, a boy who loves reading but lives in a problematic family, because his stepfather is violent and his mother is a drug addict. In the book, Paco does not exist, and consequently, Joe did not kill his stepfather. Second difference, in both the book and the TV series, Mr. Money, the owner of the bookshop that adopts Joe, is mentioned. While in the series it is seen a few times, in the novel we know him in more detail. Another important difference is that in the book Beck is totally unaware of Joe's madness, while in the series she catches him following her several times and understands that something is wrong with the boy's personality. In addition, in the series, a lot of attention is paid to Beck's financial problems, and she has to ask for help to her rich best friend Peach. In the book, Beck doesn't work and doesn't need much money, and Peach isn't so wealthy. The novel also lacks the figure of Annika, Beck's influencer friend. Also, the death of Peach happens in a different way. In the book, Joe kills the girl by hitting her with a rock during a run on the beach. In the series, he shoots her. A further difference is that Beck in the novel devotes herself to writing short stories, while in the series he writes poetry. Another character who appears in the events is Candice, the ex of Joe. In the book, however, he kills her, but in the series she is made to believe that he's dead. But during the final scene, she appears again. The last important difference concerns the ending. While in the series it's not shown how Joe kills Beck, in the novel he suffocates her with the pages of a book. Let us now turn to the description of the themes that concern both the novel and the series. First of all, it's stalking, and therefore the control mania. It has to be said that this theme is often treated from the point of view of the victim. In You, however, we are totally immersed in Joe's mind. But the boy is so skilled in manipulating everything, people, situation, events, that he even manages to create a certain understanding with the readers and listeners, that they take his side on several occasions. He has an obsessive control towards Beck, which can be defined as a real disease. He searches for her on social networks and follows her everywhere in order to keep an eye on her and know what she does, where she goes, what she likes, and who she is with. He even enters her house through the window when she is not there. He manipulates Beck's life to such an extent that by the time she realized the true nature of her boyfriend, it is too late. Other themes present that relate to that of stalking are jealousy and impulsiveness. Joe wants to be the only center of attention and love for Beck. He wants to love her, possess her, and defend her. He wants her all to himself and sees any rejection by the girl as a threat to the relationship. That's why, without thinking too much about it, he kills anyone who gets in his way, starting with her ex-boyfriend, her therapist, and even her best friend. You is a series that stands out from the others for several reasons. It is gripping, full of twists and turns, and manages to keep the viewer glued to the screen. The theme of stalking, however, is treated in an exaggerated way, as Joe's every move goes completely unnoticed until the end. On the other hand, however, it must be said that both the novel and the series deal directly and frankly with this very delicate subject, together with that of violence against women. In the story, there are different forms of physical and psychological violence. These themes, which are unfortunately very current due to their extreme delicacy, are not easy to bring to the screen. The series, however, thanks to many factors including the acting of the characters, the script and the very good direction, manages to make the viewer totally enter into the story. In addition, seeing everything from the perspective of the person who commits these acts increases awareness of the seriousness of the problem and how cruel and inhuman are these acts. The message that You is trying to get across is aimed especially at women, and is that of being always careful who we decide to let into our lives, but also who is not part of our daily lives, not to pretend nothing is happening, and to have the courage to take serious measures, because unfortunately, the first small sign of danger is actually a big wake-up call.